give me sort of 3 seconds. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Ready? Okay, hi everyone. This is in fact the last formal stand-up lecture class of the semester. After this, we are just going to be working on the final and that sort of thing. I'll write everyone the dates, etc., etc. Okay, what I'm doing here, this is my 15 minutes, or in fact 5 minutes before class starts, summary of what we're about to do. I will have this posted probably before most of the students get here. I want to thank my 2 camera people, one of whom is having breakfast and the other one is fighting grave illness. But okay, let me just get into this. Okay, what we're doing this morning is basically probing one of the concepts that we've been thinking about and talking about from a sort of oblique angle and sort of at the margins, and that is doubt. Now, what we have to be very careful to give doubt, the word doubt and the concept of doubt, the full sort of thrust of a meaning, and not just sort of take it as being puzzled. Okay, what Descartes is talking about when he is writing his first meditation on of doubt, or what can be doubted, he's talking about questioning things. He's talking about actively looking at what he knows, what he has experienced, and asking whether it's true or false. Now, my whole point here is, even though this sounds anodyne and sort of simple, it's not. Because the fact of the matter is, and this is where philosophy gets very interesting, the fact of the matter is that even though we all kind of recognize doubt, our whole system, whether we're talking about school or life, is basically engineered to prevent you from doubting or questioning in this active way that is so important to Descartes and the whole Western tradition, basically from Socrates to me, Richard. And I want you to think about this a little bit, and I'm doing it fast here. We'll go into more depth later on this morning. School is not really oriented towards or founded on or so concerned with doubt. They always want the right answers. All our whole system is built in order to get students to the point where they have the right answer. Now, it's not that philosophers don't believe in the right answer, they most certainly do. However, they think that that should be weighed or weighted against this very active questioning, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And now, if you think about it, life, it's the same in life. Our values are such, especially in contemporary American society, that we don't really esteem doubt. We think people who doubt are weak and somehow out of the mainstream of life. What philosophy in general, Descartes in particular, and me in particular want to affirm is that active questioning of certain things is key to an active life. Without very aggressive doubt, one only sort of lives partially. Now, I want to say something about what there is to doubt before I get into Descartes. I'm trying to keep this quick. When Descartes is talking about doubting, he's talking really about 2 different things that converge. The first thing is his own life and his own experience. This, whether it's in the meditations, whether it's in the principles, whether it's in the discourse of method, Descartes is very existential. That is to say, his philosophy comes out of his own life, and many professional philosophers hate that and think it's whatever, it's wrong. I am really against the professional philosophers in that sense, because I think without the personal assimilation and the personal reflection of one's personal life, one's not doing anything. One's just whatever, talking. Okay, so that's the one thing. The second thing is that is doubted. It must be actively doubted. Are the primary, fundamental, deepest political, social, religious values of a culture, and that's why philosophy is so important. Philosophy, in many ways you can do without philosophy. Most parts of one's life one can do without philosophy, but philosophy has a tremendously important historical function. That is to actively criticize and then try to transcend the key religious, political, social values. And you know, as we sort of move in to a disturbed, difficult time in American political life, it seems to me this is a very philosophical time where we need people like Descartes to help us sort our values out. Who do we want to be as people? Who do we want to be as a country? Okay, now, moving here. This is just one of the meditations, and the meditations look like they're not very long in terms of pages. They aren't very long, but basically Descartes has just thousands of pages compressed into this relatively short work. There's six meditations, and I've covered this in the video. But what I want to do is prepare us for today's lesson, because we're going to do a close textual reading of the first meditation. I'm sorry for all the I'm still waking up here. Okay, so the first meditation is about why doubt. Why doubt, and what can one doubt? Now, let me just walk you through. These are the four or five steps. It's a little bit hard to find exactly where one stops and the next begins, but I'll work with you. I'll show you more or less how that works. Okay, this is like the 3 or 4 pages of the first meditation are like an exercise. I think one of the best examples anywhere, anytime, by any writer of how to think, and this is the way it works. Descartes, first of all, talks about why he doubts now, you know, in his life. Okay, we'll talk about that. That's that first paragraph. I want everyone to read that first paragraph like 10 times at least, and really just know it basically phrase by phrase, because it's really, really rich. Okay, then he walks us through what can be doubted. He begins by saying we can doubt physical experience. What he means there is just everyday perception. Now, I don't want to get into the reasons now because the film will take too long. I want to keep the film short. But this is the first step, how he doubts perception. Secondly, he goes to what he doesn't call it the natural standpoint, but he says, well, okay, it's easy to doubt perception, but can I doubt just that I'm here in the room talking at 8:30 on Friday morning? And then he shows you, yes, I can most certainly doubt this. Then he works a little more, and he says, can I doubt? And our class worked on this a lot. It was just been a whole class on whether you can doubt mathematical entities. And he asks the same questions, and we'll talk about this. Okay, the conclusion, the very important conclusion that he comes to is that I cannot doubt that my mind says 1 + 1 = 2, and that seems true to me, okay? But he also says that I have no criterion and no certainty that what is true for me is true for the world, or at a deeper level, okay? So, I mean, this is shocking. This has to be really, really upsetting to everyone. If the things that are clearest to me might not be clear in general, we have a real problem about what we can know. Let's do it like this. If we can't know that 1 + 1 = 2 with any degree of certainty, how do we know whether to vote for Clinton or Trump or whoever, Johnson or Sanders or me? Okay, and so what he's driving at, and this is really a key thing, is that there is an abyss, or there might be an abyss, between the way I see things and everything else. What seems true for me might not be true in itself. Okay, now the next point is, he says, well, that's very confusing. I need something to kind of keep me thinking clearly about this. So he talks about an evil genius. I'll talk to you about the evil genius. And then the last paragraph is especially important, because I want everyone to read the first paragraph, and the last paragraph very carefully, because the last paragraph is the exact replication of Plato's cave. Okay, it's exactly what he's basically saying. He doesn't say I'm back in Plato's cave, but he talks about feeling heavy and tired and sleepy, and he's made too much effort and he can't figure things out. And so he says, well, I have to suspend my reflection for a while, and we'll pick it up in meditation too. And that's what he does. The next step, he picks up this whole thing in meditation too, asking if there is anything that he can know for sure. Okay, that's it. Bing. Did we get it or did it stop?